I hope all of you are doing well, and here comes the another lecture in this series called PubEdpedia 365 Current Affairs for your UPSC Civil Services examination. And as usual, this lesson is being presented by me, Rahul, and let's get started with the yet another episode in this particular series for your public administration current affairs. Okay, so let's talk about the another topic in this lesson. So 1 second guys, and let me bring the slide so that I can write over here. Okay, so here let's get started with this new series, and here in this second lesson of this video, if you have not watched the part 1 of this video, the first current affair with respect to your public administration, we have covered that particular video, and in the playlist of this particular channel you will get that video. Okay, so just go to the playlist to cover the IPC reform sort of thing, and you can also relate public administration thinkers by just watching that particular video. So let's get started, and the topic of the day is village secretariat. Okay, so we are going to talk about this new topic called village secretariat. Okay, so you must be knowing about this thing, that in the state of Andhra Pradesh, that is AP, we are basically witnessing this new sort of initiative which is known as village secretariat, and you can use this thing for your public administration perspective. Okay, so first of all, without wasting a bit of time, first of all we have to understand what is the meaning of this village secretariat, the features of this specific initiative, that is village secretariat. Okay, so let's cover this thing first of all. So the basic features are like, here what you will get to know, that the Andhra Pradesh government is going to form the village secretariat for every 2000 population. Okay, so for every 2000 population there will be one village secretariat. Okay, there will be one village secretariat. So now what is going to happen is that for each village secretariat there will be around, you can say, dozen officers that will be appointed. Okay, dozen officers, or 12 or 10 to 12 officers for every village secretariat. Okay, as a result of which what will happen is that these officers are not like they are not associated only with a particular, you can say, field or department. They belong to different department. For example, let's say health department officials will be there, for education there will be officials, for, you can say, sanitation officials will be there, for rural development officials will be there. Okay, for other things. Okay, so I hope you are getting. So this is a kind of combination that you will get. Okay, so here you will get the kind of combination of you can say different officers, and they will basically look at this particular village secretariat for 2000 population. So this 2000 is important over here. And apart from that, what you have to understand, the second component is all about village volunteer, VVs. So who are these village volunteers? So government is also going to recruit, and they have already recruited around, you can say, some individuals. Okay, so around lakh of individuals, around 1.26 lakh employees they have already recruited under this particular village secretariat, and they are known as you can say village volunteers. Okay, and these village volunteers, these are, you can say, individuals who will be recruited on the basis of merit and all. And apart from that, they will also get an incentive of 5000 per month. Okay, data is not important, just remember that there will be the village secretariat and there will be the village volunteers, and they will get certain incentive from the government, and there will be the merit based recruitment as well. So these village volunteers, what they will do, they will basically help this particular initiative. These, you can say, for every village volunteer, let's say I'm an village volunteer. Okay, so what I have to do is, I have to, you can say, work for the as a service provider for around 50 households. Okay, for every village volunteer. This is the cap that you can just understand. Okay, so you can just imagine the kind of Amazon, Flipkart or something like that. Okay, so they will act like a, you can say, service provider, and they will provide the doorstep delivery to the individual, and whatever they want they will provide this thing. Okay, for example, let's say there is a scheme on, you can say, let's say any scheme. Okay, so for example, under health insurance, let's say some sort of incentive is going to be given. Okay, so in all these things, these village volunteers will work. So remember, there are two features. First one is this village secretariat only, and second one is the village volunteers. Okay, village volunteer will help this entire phenomena. So I hope you are getting the nitty-gritties of this particular initiative, village secretariat initiative of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so this is all about the features and all, and apart from that, let's cover some more nitty-gritties with respect to this village secretariat. So features we have covered. Now the next important thing is that what are the aims of this particular initiative, why we required such initiative, what are the advantages or what are the pros. So basically you can talk about different perspectives just by thinking of the advantages that we will get. Okay, so for example, let's start with the first thing. So for example, if these volunteers are, let's say this is the village volunteer and he is providing the services to you at your doorstep. So if doorstep delivery would be there, it will create the it will create ease of living for the individuals. Okay, ease of living, you must be knowing about this thing, that the recent budget of union budget of 2020-21 was talking about ease of living. So it will provide the ease of living to whom? To beneficiaries. That's why this is the first advantage. The second advantage, as we are talking about 1.26 lakh employee that we are going to recruit in this thing as a village volunteer, again you can understand the employment sort of thing that the government is generating within the state, and they are going to get the incentive as well, 5,000 per month. I hope it is very clear to you. And apart from that, the third important thing that you can just imagine of is the strengthening of Panchayati Raj institutions. So something sort of panchayats will become, you can say, they will become more strengthened, and you can understand the idea of democratic decentralization will be further strengthened over here. Okay, apart from that, the fourth thing, so you can just imagine one another situation. So what you will get is the more public participation. Okay, so people will able to understand that yes, they are getting the benefit out of it. So this is all about this entire, you can say, understanding. Okay, now let's cover the most important thing for your public administration. So what happened is that if I cover this thing at the starting, most of the guys just listen to this particular thing and they just close that video. That's why I have decided to cover it at the end of the video. Okay, so let's cover the R factor, that how can you link this thing, this village secretariat, this VS, with different public administration thinkers. Okay, so this R factor, you must be knowing about this R factor. This is the beauty of my courses on Unacademy as well as over here. So let's cover R factor. First of all, this village secretariat, you can link this particular thing with your the one and only lady over there, MP Follett. Okay, so MP Follett, she was talking about power with. Okay, she was talking about power with basically means that you are not creating this kind of you can say hierarchy, that okay, I am boss, you are employee and something like this. Power with basically means the kind of leadership where everyone is equal. Okay, power with. Okay, so sabka saath sabka vikas, MP Follett was talking about this kind of thing. Okay, so you can just understand power with. Similarly, she was also talking about participative democracy over representative democracy. Okay, so if you go deep into her writings, you will get to know that she was talking about participatory democracy over this particular democracy, which is known as representative democracy. Okay, I hope you are aware about the meaning of these terminologies. And apart from that, the third idea that she was talking about was obviously she was talking about, you can say, integration and situational leadership. So when it comes to ground reality, situation becomes, you can say, more as per the situation, the people in the villages, they should rule themselves. Okay, so you can understand the right of self determination. Okay, even during the modern Indian history, if you study about the, you can say, freedom struggle, we were talking about right of self determination. So here you can understand the situational leadership as well. Okay, the next important thinker is the thinker who is known as Likert. So Likert was talking about system 4. Okay, if you are knowing, if you are aware about the system 4, it is well and good, and if you are not, you can simply go to the Unacademy free platform. On free platform there is the course by me, so 250 free lessons are there. You can just understand what we understand, what we have understood by system 4. Apart from that, Likert was also talking about linking pin model. Okay, so this is something where also you can just relate this particular idea, linking pin model. Linking pin, what do you mean by linking pin? So you can understand that here is the government and here is the people, and in between you will get this village secretariat. So you can understand that it will act as the linking pin, and this linking pin is basically so flexible that you can use it anywhere. Okay, be it district magistrate, be it district collector, be it panchayati raj institution, whoever is coming in between, you can use him or her like a linking pin model. Okay, apart from that, the third important thinker over here is Douglas MacGregor. Douglas MacGregor was basically talking about theory Y. So theory Y, if you are not aware, you will face problems, so kindly do watch that lesson. Okay, theory Y. So in theory Y we talk about self control and self determination again, so again you can just understand. And apart from that, another thing is the transactional influence. Okay, so this is the idea of transactional influence. Transactional influence basically means that people, when people are coming together, okay, so transactional influence is nothing but the transformation from I to we. ठीक है, मैं नहीं कहना है, हम कहना है. ठीक है, दिस इज नोन एज ट्रांजेक्शनल इन्फ्लुएंस. यू कैन रिलेट दिस थिंग विद योर mental revolution given by Taylor. Okay, so if you have studied about F.W. Taylor, the father of industrial engineering, so he was also talking about the mental revolution, and this mental revolution of Taylor and transactional influence of MacGregor are one or the same thing, where we are talking about mutual trust and interpersonal competence. The fourth important thinker is our another thinker who was Chris Argyris. He was talking about the idea of decentralization by the way of matrix organization, so you can relate him as well. I am not here to delineate those things. If you are not aware about these ideas, you can simply go to Unacademy free platform. You will get free lessons and you can just learn the lessons in 15 minutes itself. Okay, 10 to 15 minutes. The next important idea that you can relate is public choice approach. What do you mean by public choice approach? In public choice approach, we have the thinkers like Gordon Tullock, we have the other thinkers as well, and if you read them in a very detailed manner, you will get to know that they are also talking about the same thing that we have covered over here in this particular idea, this MP Follett idea, PD over RD, that is participatory democracy over representative democracy. So here also public choice approach is something where you will get this idea. You can now link PCA with MP Follett as well, and you can relate PCA with your democratic decentralization or such kind of initiatives as well. So this is it, and this is all about the different thinkers that you can relate. Apart from that, let me link this particular thing with your public policy as well. Okay, so let's link this thing with your public policy as well. So in public policy, if you look at the public policy, you will get the models like elite mass model. Okay, elite mass model, you must be knowing about this thing. If you are not knowing about this thing, you can visit Unacademy and on the free platform you will get those ideas. Okay, so in public policy, basically if you look at public policy, if you look at elite mass model, this model is not this model is not equivalent to elite mass model, and this is a kind of, you can say, democratic decentralized model. Okay, so that's why you will get to know that yes, we will face certain advantages because it is not elite mass. Elite mass model is nothing but kind of this thing. Okay, so something sort of this thing. What will happen is that elite will be there, ruling class will be there, and you can say poor people and the normal people will be there, and these elite people will rule on the rural, on the middle class, lower class, poor class, whatever the class are there. So similarly, you can understand that when government is ruling from the center, or for that matter at the highest level, then what happen is that they become elite. Okay, for example, bureaucracy is often regarded as elite services. Okay, similarly, people are not elite, people are rural. Elite people are mass, so elite mass model. Okay, so now what is going to happen is that this village secretariat idea, it will basically counter this elitist tendency, and basically we will get to know that more advantage will be given to the individual because of this particular policy. Apart from that, it will also address the Beagle factor problem of this Beagle factor problem is one of the problem where what happen is that the people at the top, they are unaware about the needs of the individual. Okay, so for example, let's say I am the secretary of cabinet. Okay, let's say I am the cabinet secretary, the biggest IAS officer of the country right now. Okay, so what will happen is that whenever people will ask me that what is the need at the ground level, I will think like health, education, or something like this. Okay, my idea would be like this. Okay, I would think like this itself, health, education and whatnot. Okay, but if you go at the ground level, if you go at the ground zero, then what will happen, that people will say that we don't want health, we don't want education, we want pure drinking water at our premises, and this is the main problem. Okay, we don't need these health, education, because first of all our lower order need is not being fulfilled. Okay, so this is the, you can say, scenario. Okay, for example, government is bringing Udan Yojana. Okay, Ude Desh ka Aam Nagarik, but when you look at the Aam Nagarik or the common people, they are basically suffering for the, you can say, food, cloth and shelter, the basic needs. Okay, so I am not criticizing Udan scheme. Okay, it is well and good, and we should appreciate it, but just try to imagine the situation. Such kind of things are known as Beagle factor, where you are giving something and people are demanding something, and because of the communication gap, you are unaware about the need of the people at the ground level. And this is the reason why we need democratic decentralization. This is the reason why we need participative democracy, because in centralized system we will face this problem. We will definitely face this problem, and that's why we have adopted this 73rd amendment, 74th amendment, Panchayati Raj, local self governance, local urban governance, because we want to address this particular phenomena called Beagle factor. Beagle is a kind of, you can say, you can just understand, this is a kind of organism, small organism. So you can just imagine beagle is like a insect. Okay, so the beagle doesn't know, beagle is over here, beagle is all about the top leaders. Okay, they don't know the ground reality. Okay, so you must be knowing about this thing. Just try to use this keyword whenever you are writing the answers in your public administration optional, because beagle factor is something that will give you extra marks for this extra keyword. Okay, so I hope you are getting this. And apart from that, apart from Beagle factor, there is also another issue called prisoner's dilemma. Okay, so what is this prisoner's dilemma? So when it comes to prisoner's dilemma is something similar to Beagle factor, but in Beagle factor we are unaware about the needs of the individual at the ground level, but in prisoner's dilemma we are unaware about the reaction of the people to, with respect to our policy. Okay, so again this is the issue with centralized system, because we don't know the ground reality. Okay, so for example, recently lockdown is going on. Okay, so basically government is expecting something. If government is saying lockdown, or for that matter, let's say government is saying Janata curfew, okay, the self lockdown. Okay, so in such kind of things, if you compare lockdown with curfew, if you compare Janata curfew with normal curfew or emergency, so there is a kind of difference. And why government is adopting these things? This is based on the kind of expectation that they are having from the people, that people will react like this on this particular initiative. Okay, लगाने को तो वो emergency लगा देते, ठीक है, कि गोली मार दी जाएगी अगर कोई बाहर निकला, but they can't do this thing because they know that people will overreact, people will react on that particular thing in this manner. Okay, लोग नहीं सुनेंगे फिर, ठीक है, that's why they are bringing lockdown. Okay, so I hope you are getting. So if they are unable to do this thing, then this will be known as prisoner's dilemma. Okay, prisoner's dilemma. So prisoner's dilemma basically there is a kind of theory and experimentation. You don't need to go through that particular thing. Just remember, prisoner's dilemma is something where the authority, the decision making authority, can't expect the reaction of the individual. Okay, तो for example let's say there let's say यहाँ पे दो बंदे बंदी हैं, ठीक है, बंदा बंदी हैं, relation में है. Okay, so now in any relation, let's say brother and sister is there. So if brother is doing something, if brother is saying something or doing something or something wrong, something right, whatever, so he would just imagine that particular reaction from the sister. Okay, so I hope you are getting. So if they are unable to do that particular thing, it will be known as prisoner's dilemma. Okay, so in reality what happened, that government faces prisoner's dilemma if the system of the government is centralized. Okay, I hope you are getting. On the other hand, if you decentralize the system, if you provide power to the individual, if you provide power to the gram sabha, if you provide power to the panchayats, then what will happen, that this prisoner's dilemma will not occur. So then what will happen, that economy, efficiency, effectiveness of the policy programs and initiatives will be improved. Okay, so this is all about the ideas. So let me give you the simple revision again. So insofar as the public administration thing is concerned, if you can just see over here, let me just take this highlighter and again let me bring these things. First of all, MP Follett was there. So MP Follett was talking about power bid. She was talking about the comparison between the participative democracy and representative democracy, and she was also talking about the situational leadership. So you can just relate. Likert was talking about system 4. System 4 is a kind of system where we have the self paternalism. Okay, so there is a trick also. So there are 4 kind of system 1, 2, 3, 4. First is all about exploitative authoritative, second is all about benevolent authoritative, third is all about consultative, fourth is all about participative. So EA, BA, CP. Okay, so EA exploitative authoritative, BA benevolent authoritative, C means consultative and P means participative. So एक लड़का था EA BA करता रहता था और CP में घूमता रहता था, ठीक है, तो EA BA ऐसे करता रहता था और CP में घूमता रहता था, ठीक है, तो EA is not a kind of degree but you can just understand EA BA CP. Okay, so CP means C means consultative and P means participative. So Likert basically talking about system 4 participative. Okay, apart from that we have the another thinker McGregor, his theory why can be related with this particular initiative, and the idea of transactional influence, and this transactional influence can be linked with the mental revolution of Taylor. So here you can add one more thinker here, 6, Taylor. Okay, so Taylor's mental revolution is something that will be brought about, and apart from that the Argyris thing I have mentioned earlier, and 2 other theories can be linked. For example, public choice approach is the separate topic that you can relate, and here you can see this particular arrow, just follow this arrow and you will get the idea. Okay, and apart from that, the last but not the least, the biggest topic, public policy, the most important topic, public policy. So in public policy also you can talk about the elite mass model, as you can see over here in this diagram, this bad diagram, and apart from that Beagle factor as well as the prisoner's dilemma. Okay, so बहुत ज़्यादा खिचपिच हो गई है इस पूरे स्लाइड में. Okay, so here you can see the kind of you can say things are quite congested, but I hope you are getting the things. If you have any doubt, you can feel free to ask me that doubt in the comment section, and I hope this video is helpful for you. Thank you so much and have a nice day. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel GS with Rahul, where I am not teaching GS, where I am teaching public administration optional for you. Okay, so let's finish it, and kindly subscribe to this channel if this video is helpful for you. Okay, thank you so much.